Hi everyone, welcome and welcome back to the channel. Please like, share and subscribe, and let's go to this week's energy. So I'm gonna try to be very short in this video. I'm gonna try to be as short as I can from now on and be not very astrological. Again, I'm gonna try to speak from feelings and not be very technical from now on, because it can suck a little bit, but it was needed to be technical in the previous videos because there was a lot going on, a lot of eclipses happening and a lot of planetary movements. I'm sorry about my cat. But from now on, I'm gonna try to be as succinct. I don't know if this is a word. Anyway, as short as possible. And less technical, because it can be very annoying. This week, I feel after the eclipse has passed, which kind of didn't, because as I said in previous videos, eclipses energies, they're very karmic energies. So they're always reverbing at the background in our lives. But especially solar eclipses, which was the previous one, the Libra eclipse was a solar eclipse, because it is a new moon, because solar eclipses involve new moons. New moons, they're kind of blank moons. They're very dark moons. It's like the zero stage of the moon. So you cannot see the moon, basically. And because of that, in my opinion, this is my opinion, I don't know if this is a technical astrological concept or anything, this is something that I feel personally. Because eclipses involve moon, the moon in itself, when we have a solar eclipse, again, and the new moon is blank, we don't really feel the eclipse in the day of the eclipse per se, when it is a solar eclipse, because the moon is blank. We feel the eclipse energy, the eclipse's energy, a few days before and a few days after, but not in the day itself. That is my opinion. And especially in this one, like I said, because Mercury was combust with the sun, the ideas started to become clearer as we started to get away from the eclipse, the eclipse day. The energy started to become lighter, and I feel that we're it's like we've been working on all these karmic energies throughout 2024, which is a very karmic year, and it's going to continue to be one. We're dealing with a lot of energies until 2026. I've been saying this. 2025 will be a year of number 9 numerologically, which is a year of which is a number of shedding and saying goodbye to things. So it's also going to be a karmic year, so it's going to be a difficult year as well. Even astrologically, we have some themes that are going to be brought back from 2024 anyway. When we get to 2025, I'm going to talk about them, but I've been actually mentioning all of these things in this video, saying, oh, this is going to happen, but it's going to reverb on 2025. It's going to last until 2025 anyway. Where was I? I'm sorry. There's a lot of water energy in the air, and when there's a lot of water energy, because I'm very watery, I become very dispersed. So you're gonna have to bear with me, guys. Yeah, the solar eclipse and energies. Oh yeah, all of the energies that we've been working on, I feel like they kind of culminated, especially in the Pisces eclipse that happened on the 17th and 18th of September, depending on where you were in the world. Again, if you were on the eastern side of the Atlantic, it happened on the 18th, and if you were on the western side, it happened on the 17th of September. My baby wants to get up. And unfortunately, I have to keep the door closed because it's spring in Brazil and the cicadas are going insane and you cannot hear anything except cicadas. So he's just gonna have to stay out there without me. But my little fragile baby, he can barely walk. Oh my god. I get very apprehensive when he's away from me. I think you can hear the cicadas still. Yeah, even with everything closed. So anyway, I think that the Pisces eclipse was a very significant one. And the crowning jewel was this solar eclipse in Libra. I feel that after that, things started to become lighter for us. It's as if we were rolling on this ball up a hill, and it was very heavy. Actually, in my video in the Portuguese version, my Brazilian channel, I mentioned, I don't know if you know the myth of Sisyphus. Is it Sisyphus? I think it is. Which is a again, mythology, which is a man who was condemned to roll up this ball up a hill for the rest of his life. He would have to do that, like roll up this huge heavy ball up a hill, and once he got to the top, the ball would fall down and he would have to do it all over again. I feel that we were in this phase of kind of doing that, rolling up this heavy ball of karma, I don't know, of our lives, up this hill, and sometimes it would fall off a little bit, and we would, our foot would slip off a little bit, and we would have, not completely like Sisyphus, but it would slip off a little bit, and we would have to climb up a little more all over again. And we were climbing and climbing and climbing up this hill, rolling up this ball, this heavy ball. And with this eclipse, we finally got to the top with the heavy ball. It was like the final push. And now we're there and the ball has stopped. I actually mentioned that for me, both in tarot and in mathematics, the biggest leap that one can make is when you go from, the biggest change is when you go from nothing to something. So it's when you go from 0 to 1. That is why in tarot, for me, the biggest change is when you go from the energy of the Fool to the Magician. Because the Fool, it's literally the beginning of the journey. It's related to the number 0. It's pure innocence. That's why the Fool is a guy with just a little bag, a rag bag on his back, and nothing else. Just his thoughts and his innocence and his willingness to throw himself into the world. And it's related to Uranus energy, which is a higher conscience that comes to him, and he's just willing to follow that intuition without regards to anyone's opinions, or without concerns. He just trusts. It's the leap of faith. It's literally the leap of faith. And the magician is the opposite. The magician is someone that already is conscious of conscience. It's related to Mercury, which is the planet of thought and communications, and practical communication, because Uranus is thought and communication, but it's heavenly, it's higher conscience. Again, it's pure thought. Mercury, it's in a practical level. It's material. It's thought assigned to material, to the material realm. And Mercury, it's Hermes. It's thought. The god thought. It's related to the hermetic principles, as above, so below. The macrocosmos and the microcosmos, and it has to do with the that is why it's the magician, is the principle of manifestation. It's in Mercury. Everything starts with conscience. Everything starts with thought. If you are aware of something, you've got the tools to manifest it and put it into the world. That is why the magician has all the tools on his table, and the tools are related to the four elements: water, fire, air, and earth. So there's always like either a candle or a wand, a rock or a pentacle, a glass of water or something related to it. There's always something related to the four elements in the cards. But all the four elements are always there with the magician. And the reason why I'm saying that is, again, after the magician, there's like the high priestess, the empress. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the sequence. But once you have the sequence, it's easy because it has materialized already. The energy has been put into motion. But from 0 to 1, from the fool to the magician, it had to take a leap of faith. It came from nothing, from this purity, from this, again, it's a leap of faith. It didn't know where it was going, and it went to something. It's 0 to 1. It's the Big Bang. It's nothing to something. This for me is the biggest leap of transformation, the biggest difference that we can see in a transformation. And the reason why I'm saying that is that I feel this is the moment we're living right now. We went through all this. We were like in this 0 type of moment, clearing a lot of things, which was this rolling of the ball. And we went to the top of the hill, which is like this 0 moment. It's like finally we are at 0. And now we're pushing the ball. It's this leap of faith. And we're starting to go into this 1 energy. And once the ball starts rolling into 1 energy, from 0 to 1, things will start falling into place much easier and much quicker, because we already took the leap of faith. The hard part has been done already. I don't know if I made any sense, but energetically, this is how I feel. And a lot of things are happening this week that are helping us to feel that energy. And a lot of important things. Again, I'm not going to stay into the astrology conversation too much, but I have to mention some things that are important. The first one is my dear old Pluto. Pluto is the last time that Pluto is going to be retrograde this week. So we're saying goodbye to Pluto's retrogression, and retrogression means reflection. It's a period where a planet kind of pulls on the brakes so you can reflect upon its energy. And dismiss the illusions that that planet has around it when it's in direct movement. And Pluto is gonna, let me get the ephemeris here. Pluto is gonna become direct on the 12th, which is a Saturday. It's gonna become direct on the 12th, but it's still gonna be in Capricorn, because it's only gonna get to Aquarius on November 19th. But anyway, it's gonna be direct. So after the 12th, it's like bye-bye Pluto's reflections. You're not gonna be able to rethink this Capricorn energy anymore. You may be able to relive it because it's going to be in direct movement, but not reflect upon it anymore. So this is the last time for you to think about all the obsolete structures, all the things that are not working anymore when it comes to social paradigms, patriarchy, how you have been affected by the social norms, again, social structures and paradigms that people in society put in your mind, which ones are affecting you that shouldn't be there, that are obsolete, that should be obliterated out of your life because they're actually pulling you back. Things that are not working for you, that are not allowing you to have a life that allows you to have a natural, that respects your natural cycle, because Capricorn is about putting boundaries in order to have a sustainable life, respecting the sustainability of life and its cycles, and not just being into a energy of go, 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 go. It's all about timing and spiritual timing and respecting that timing. And sometimes, not just sometimes, most of the times, that is not just being on the clock all the time. It's knowing when to go, when to stop, when to rest. Again, being sustainable. Each one has its own timing. And listening to yourself. So, this is the last time for you to think about it. All of that. What is still influencing you? I actually gave examples like, oh, I have to have a house before I'm 30. I have to have kids before I'm 32. I have to find a husband before I'm 28. I have to have this. I have to have that. And I have to be this. And I have to... Says who? If it's you, fine. But where is this coming from? Is this coming from your soul? Your soul's desire? Or is it coming from anywhere else? If it's something else that is telling you, if it's putting a lot of pressure and competition, and why? Just question that about you. Again, obsolete structures that are not sustainable anymore, that made life on Earth unbearable and got us to the point that we are now. And we're not functioning as a society anymore, and things just went crazy and are broken. We live in a broken system because of that. So things need to change, and they are changing. Pluto has been questioning that from the past 16 years, and has been breaking these paradigms, and not only collectively but individually. So if there's anything else still lingering there inside of you, now is the last breath for you to dive deep and just clean it all up. So the first thing, Pluto. The second one is, and I mentioned this one in the past video, and this one for me is the biggest one this week, not only Pluto, is the Grand Water Trine, which is a very spiritual trine between Venus in Scorpio, talking to Venus in Scorpio. It's at 14 degrees. I'm actually looking at the map here in front of me, but the camera is right in front of me, so I have to do this kind of dancing. And Saturn in Pisces, which is also at 14 degrees. It's Venus with the outer planets, the karmic planets. So Venus in Scorpio at 14 degrees, Saturn in Pisces at also 14 degrees, and Mars in Cancer at 16 degrees. They're making this grand trine, and on the 6th, is it 6th? I think it is. Yeah, 6th of October, the moon is also gonna be there for a little while, because it's gonna be in Scorpio as well at 18 degrees, but it's gonna leave soon. But anyway, it's gonna sing a little bit in this grand trine to help out with a little bit of scorpionic energy. And again, like I said in the last video, it is this very spiritual energy, helping us clear karma, clear our waters, clear our emotions, clear things that are not supposed to be there anymore. Venus in Scorpio is making us look through our drawers, our unconscious drawers that have been locked for a little while, for us to deal with things that we kind of ignored for a while, that we thought were okay. I actually use this metaphor. You know when you bake things, you have like this baking dish. Is it baking dish? I think it is. Baking tray. You have this baking tray, and you bake things like for a while, and there's always this little crusts that stain the corners, and they're hard to clean, and you're like, oh, it's fine, just stay there. But with the passing of the years, they're just there, and they just linger there for a while. And I don't know, after a couple of years, they start to blacken, and you keep using the tray because it's fine, it's not affecting anything. But when you try to clean it, it's a very hard crust, and it doesn't come off. And one day you're like, oh no, I have to scrub it very hard. I'm gonna take it out, I'm gonna clean it for real this time. This is this Venus in Scorpio. It's like, yeah, this time, love, you're gonna have to scrub and real hard and get rid of these crusts. I don't care how. These crusts, they seem not to affect you, and they seem not to affect the taste of the food, but they do. They kind of bother. So let's dive in deep and get rid of them, because they didn't seem to be that big of a deal, but they kind of are, and they've been accumulating for a long time. At the time, they didn't seem like a big deal, but from now on, they're gonna be. So you cannot bring them with you anymore. There are things that you cannot bring with you anymore. And even though they don't seem like a big deal, they kind of are. They mess with your inner compass a little bit, whether you see it or not. It's the little things that you don't notice that may interfere with your inner compass every now and then, and we don't want that anymore. So let's deal with that while we can, shall we? This is the Venus in Scorpio, because Venus has to do with our values. And again, like I said in the last video, the way we learn how to love, and especially self-love, related to self-love. And this is talking again in a grand trine with Saturn in Pisces. This Saturn in Pisces has been for a while telling us to get rid of things that do not work for us anymore and that we cannot bring with us for this next phase. But it's been a while, ever since I think the Pisces eclipse, that this Saturn has kind of evolved for me. It's not just about, especially now that it's talking to this Venus in Scorpio, it's not just about things that don't work for yourself anymore. Again, it has evolved. It has this energy of, because Scorpio has this energy of hurting a little bit. Scorpio is this very intimate sign. It talks about intimacy and things that are very when you're glued together with someone or something, even in the deepest in the deepest shadows of things. It's almost like you're Siamese twins, and for you to get rid of something or someone, you have to cut a part of yourself as well, so it hurts, because Scorpio is very intense. Again, that is why taking out this crust can hurt, because you're gonna have to like to rub it and rub it and rub it. That's why you're like, oh, just leave it there, because you know how hard working it can be, and it seems like nothing, but it is, because a part of you, this tiny part, will have to go away as well, and you kind of know that unconsciously. But this Saturn in Pisces kind of evolved, because in the beginning it was like, oh, you have to get rid of things that don't work for you anymore. That was fine. Until then was fine. But now Saturn in Pisces has this energy, it's been for a while, that is like, there are things that you want to bring with you, and you know you want to bring with you, but you can't. And you're gonna have to cut that too, darling. That's why you have to look at this Venus and what is really, really valuable to you. Because there are things that you're putting a lot of value in it, that are not worth your value. You're too attached to some things that shouldn't have any attachment to. And the reason why you're attached to it's because there are parts of you in that thing, and you cannot bring that thing with you, and it's gonna hurt. I don't care. So deal with it. You cannot bring that with you anymore. So it's not about things that you don't need anymore. It's things that you really want to bring with you, and you cannot. You should not. So it's a little harder. It's like 2.0. It's the evolution of boundaries. That is why we're having all of this. And it's all for our own goods. Like, you know, you cannot bring that with you, right? You know. So let's do this for once. It's like I said in the previous videos. If you have something, again, all to do with our values. If you have something... if you're looking eye to eye with someone when it comes to values, it's fine. But when you start seeing something, when your values shift a little bit into in a different way, and people, the person there, they refuse to find a middle ground, Saturn is like, you're not going to compromise on your values anymore. The person's like, oh, just meet me down here. Venus and Saturn's like, you're not gonna go down here anymore. You know you're gonna have to cut, right? You know you're gonna have to cut this. You're not gonna go down anymore. So you cannot bring this with you anymore. It's gonna hurt. I don't care. All of this difference over here, this is gonna have to disappear. I don't care how. Just make it happen. And this actually has to do with a lot of the energy of this square between Vesta and I'm gonna talk about it later before I forget, but Vesta in Virgo squaring Jupiter in Gemini. At the Jupiter in Gemini is at 21 degrees and Vesta in Virgo is at, where is it? 19 degrees. But before that, just to wrap it up with the grand trine, the grand water trine, we also have Mars in Cancer at 16 degrees of Cancer, reminding us that we have to take care of ourselves. Active care. Mars in Cancer is like active care. Take active care. If you don't take care of yourselves, no one will. No one will. It's your responsibility to nurture yourself, to take care of yourself. So just freaking do it. So this grand trine it's all about that. And it's the spiritual support around us for this next phase. And just going to this Vesta in Virgo squaring the Jupiter in Gemini. As I always say, Vesta is our inner hearth, is our inner fire, is what lights up our spirit no matter what. Is what's gonna keep our spirit lit no matter what happens in our life. And Virgo has this karmic energy that has to, just like I said in the eclipse, that Libra has this karmic lesson that has to learn how to redefine what a harmonious and peaceful relationship is, what a fair relation, what does it mean to live a fair and just relationship. This is a karmic lesson that the Librian archetype has to learn in this lifetime. A lot of people who have a lot of Libra placements actually have to learn this lesson. The Virgo archetype has to learn how to serve themselves first before serving others, because Virgo is a very proactive sign. It has a lot of it's a very pragmatic sign. It's always willing to help, again, to serve others. It's a very helpful sign, but Virgos have to learn how to be helpful and active and serve themselves first before serving others. Because it's funny, I always say that people who have a lot of Virgo energy in their map, especially Virgo sun, my dad is a Virgo, for example, my grandma, my uncle, they're all Virgos, Virgo sun. And it's funny because if you have someone who is a Virgo close to you, because they're living, because you know their sun, and their sun is their spirit, so you know them intimately. So people who know Virgos, they're like, oh, but they're so organized and pragmatic and blah blah blah. But if you live with a Virgo, you're like, no, they're not. They're actually, I thought I saw something. They're so chaotic, and the house is a mess. Where they live is a mess. Their head is a mess. because they're actually living, when a Virgo is living in shadow, they activate their complementary opposite sign, because all signs are in axis, and they all share characteristics in this axis. They activate their shadow in the of the opposite sign, which is Pisces, because they share the axis with Pisces. And Pisces is dispersed, is chaotic, but they do it in the material realm, because Virgo is an earth sign. Pisces is a water sign, Virgo is an earth sign, so they do it in the material realm. So when Virgos are not in balance, their shadow is being completely out of place, being chaotic, and physically chaotic. But people will not notice that, because they will only be that with them, not with other people. With other people, they're going to be great. In their workplace, they're going to be great. They're going to be super Virgos. They're going to be organized, pragmatic, and blah, blah, blah. But in their personal lives, they're going to be messy, because they're not learning the lessons. So again, Virgo archetype has to learn to put themselves first. In order to help others, they have to first be organized themselves. They have to first learn to help themselves, put themselves first. The same thing goes to Pisces. Remember, they share the same axis, but Pisces has to learn how to put themselves first, emotionally and spiritually. Virgo has to do it because I call this axis, Virgo and Pisces, the axis of cure, because they're here to bring the divine into the world in order to cure and repair everyone else. Virgo does it in the material realm, Pisces does it in the spiritual, emotional realm. But they have to understand that they cannot do that for others if they're not healthy in themselves. Again, Pisces emotionally and spiritually, psychologically. That's why a lot of Pisces are unstable, and are like, you cannot be unstable. You have to put yourself first. If you're crying all the time and again, don't have your energy stable, how can you deal with others? Putting others first, you have to put yourself first in order to donate energy. And Virgo is the same thing. You have to organize your life first. Prioritize your life first. Build your life first in order to help others prioritize their life, build their life, organize their lives. But do it yours first. Do not put others first. This is part of the Virgo karmic lesson archetype. And the reason why I'm saying that, again, Vesta is in Virgo, and Vesta is this inner hearth, and it's having this conversation with Jupiter in Gemini, and the conversation they're having is an aspect called square, and square is a harsh conversation. It's like pointing a finger and saying, hey, pay attention at this. It's calling you out. It's a very, very harsh conversation. Because Jupiter in Gemini is this very expensive energy. It's Jupiter wanting everything. It's Jupiter being... ADHD. Yeah, I think it is. It's Jupiter. It's ADHD. Yeah. It's Jupiter without any focus. It's like it wants everything and all at the same time. It's having 1,000. It's, you know, when you're browsing television and it's not even binge watching, because when you binge watch something, you actually watch the whole episode and you go to the next and you go to, you're actually finishing an episode. Jupiter in Gemini, it's browsing. It's like, oh, not this, not this, not this, not this. But it's not like you're looking for something. It's actually you're liking everything. It's like, oh, this, great, 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 great. It's like you want it all. But Vesta in Virgo, it's actually putting boundaries and saying, hey, awesome. You're having all these ideas and you want it all, but the only ones we're keeping are the ones that make sense for us, are the ones that, again, are actually going to be functional and viable to our inner heart. The ones that actually talk to really, really, again, are viable, are worth doing. The ones that are megalomaniac, just no way, it's not practical. I'm not gonna kill myself trying to do it. We're being practical and pragmatic. And it's the ones that talk to my spirit, to my heart. The ones that are just there to, because my eyes are just having a lot of ideas. No, this is not gonna work. Let's be practical with what I want. And again, it's what I want. I'm prioritizing my inner fire, my inner hearth. If a lot of people are coming to me, because it's Gemini, it's communication. If a lot of people are coming to me saying, hey, I have this idea, will you help me with that? Will you help me with that? If I have the energy to do that, fine. But if I don't, I'm gonna prioritize my inner hearth. It's my fire that has to be lit. If you wanna keep your hearth lit, you better poke your amber. I'm not gonna do it for you because I don't have energy. Because remember, we just came out of a major transformation. We're coming out of the ashes. So we have very, very little energy left in us. Some of us have more, and not just that. I feel that are a lot of people who are not doing their work, their inner work, and not only feel, I actually see people all around who are not doing their inner work and who haven't done anything, and they're just wanting to surf in other people's energies. It's like, oh, cool, I'm just gonna tag along, and it's like, nope, not with me. Again, it's the Saturn energy with Scorpio, Venus in Scorpio. Is like, if you want something, you go very deep into your basement and you clean that mess yourself. I'm not bringing you along. Again, you make sure you keep your fire lit, not me. Enough. So be careful with these people's energies. It's like the cuckoo bird. They want to feed freely in your nest, but you're not a cuckoo bird. You're, I don't know, a cardinal, and they're trying to get rid of your eggs in order to stay there, just wanting you to feed them. And it's like, nope, get out of my nest, you big ass cuckoo. And not just in the daily lives and social media and my interactions, but even in the astral plane, when I astral project, I feel and see a lot of people like that. So be careful, guys. There's a lot of energy asking us to restrict ourselves, and asking us to pay attention, making sure what do we want from now on. Because we're building the future, the timelines that we want from now on. And we don't want to bring these type of things. There's a split happening. We don't want to bring this old energies, these old crusts, these old habits with us. So yeah, is this all I had to say? I think it is. If I remember anything, I will. Or not, because I have a horrible memory. Anyway, let's go for the cards. Yay! This is shorter than I thought it would be. Thank God. I was afraid I wasn't gonna be able to remember everything because I didn't write down any topics. I was like, oh, will I be able to channel all over again? Luckily I was. And I say luckily, and I got luck. Lime. Capricorn energy. Luck. So again, we're having a lot of, like I said, with this grand trine, this grand water trine, we're having a lot of spiritual protection, a lot of doors are open for us, but not just that. For me, lime, especially because I work with aromatherapy and all of these things, the lime, both lime and lemon essential oils, I always relate, because of this chemical component that it has, which is called limonene. It gets rid of grease, and grease is something that grease is always related to protection, something that wants to hide things. That is why it's slimy and it's hard to get rid of. So for me, it's not just luck. It's again that thing. It's luck because things are clearing out. You're not seeing. You're seeing things clearly now without grease. There's no protection. It's like there was this film protecting things that you were not supposed to access before, and now things have been cleared. That's why it seems luck, but it's not luck. It's competence. You've done the work. The ways have been cleared. Again, this clearing of things. Is this attraction, this power of attraction that seems luck, but it's not. It's competence. My cat has been passing by. The energy of the week. Again, I feel this very light energy after this eclipse. The Eight of Pentacles. Work on yourself. Again, and Eight of Pentacles, if I'm not mistaken, is Sun in Virgo, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see on my notes if I find my notebook, because I have like 1,000 notebooks, and oh my god, it's been so long since I studied this in astrology. I don't think I'm gonna find it. Nope, it's in my office. I'm gonna have to count on my own memory. God, help me. Yeah, it is Sun in Virgo. It is Sun in Virgo. It is, yeah, it is this thing that Virgo has of improving, again, making things better. Like I said, is this energy that Virgo has of bringing the divine into the material and always trying to make things better and refining because it wants to make the material as close as possible to the divine. This is why it's Eight of Pentacles. So it's self-work, but self-work directed to you. Is this Vesta in Virgo. God, I have so many dark circles. My cat's really need to let me sleep. Because again, I don't wear makeup. I don't dye my hair. I don't do anything. All my cosmetics are natural cosmetics that I do myself, by myself. The only thing I do is paint my own nails sometimes, because I don't think it's healthy. I only do it when my nails are really, really looking bad. Jesus Christ, I look horrible. I look like a dead person. My cats need to let me sleep. Okay, energy to activate. I told you guys, the Fool. That's the energy to activate. Take the leap of faith. We're starting a brand new chapter. A brand new chapter. Started with confidence, and not just confidence. You see that it has all the zodiacs chart, mandala, I don't know how you guys can call it, on its chart. Because it again, the Fool is Uranus. It's related to Uranus. Is this you become conscious of a higher knowledge of something that comes down. You download this higher conscience, and that gives you faith to take a new direction that is better for you. Allows you to take the next step without any fears, and with a pure, open heart. And it's funny because I always say that the solar eclipse, I think I even said that in the previous video, solar eclipses for me are times where we download a new conscience. So yeah. And the energy to avoid. The Ace of Cups. Why is the Ace of Cups the energy to avoid? I actually have an idea about it, but I want to clarify her. Another ace, the Ace of Pentacles. For me, yeah, because the back of the deck is the Ten of Wands. The Ace of Cups and the Ten of no, the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles with the energy to avoid is bringing preconceived emotions and ideas, emotions and plans, because again it's the Fool, so things are not gonna be open to the unexpected. Things are not gonna be, you're gonna be surprised. That is why you have to count on luck. It's gonna be better than you think, but as long as you're opened, as long as you have an open, pure heart, don't come with preconceived emotions and ideas of, oh, it's gonna be this and it's gonna be like that. No, they're actually asking me to set this aside, So don't bring heavy baggage of preconceived things. But they're asking me to take another card for the activation to help with the Fool. So don't come with ideas of, oh, this next phase is gonna be this and it's gonna be that. You're gonna be surprised. Yeah, see? Death. It's 2 major arcanas. It's gonna be completely different, guys. Completely different. It's 2 cards of new beginnings. Be opened to a new beginning. And it's actually, I love this death card because the denied, it's actually a very cute card. Death is playing with the kids, and this guy here, which is this kind of a priest, it reminds me of the character from the Hierophant card, and it's kind of playing with the kids, but it doesn't like what's happening. It's like it's not having fun with the kids. The one having fun is death, the skeleton. So for me, it's like your inner child. Again, there's this very inner child kind of energy this week. That's why I chose this tarot, filled with little children. But your inner child is very happy with the new beginnings and with the surprises, and the Hierophant, which is this guy, isn't happy because the Hierophant energy is about it's related to Taurus, and it is about social norms and structures and what is the word? Conventions and things that are again very structured and expected and oh, I forgot the name, the word. Yeah, structures, social norms, conventional things. And it's like, yeah, it's not gonna be like that. So do not come. It's not gonna be like that. It's gonna be completely unexpected, different, but in a cool way, in a different way. It may be ugly at the beginning, but it's not. So be opened. So just don't come with preconceived, bringing baggage, preconceived ideas. Don't come with that. That is why it's important for you to work on yourself. Because then no matter what comes, you know it is for you. You're not going to be scared. And you're not going to be distracted as well. There's this energy of not distracting yourself as well. So I'm taking this Hafiz oracle for you guys, which is beautiful, and we got Kindle Love. I love these cards, they're so beautiful. I'm gonna read it for you guys because it's very poetic. Number 8. The eye and body, a sacred candle, tenderness and compassion ignites. It is in your best interest to be very tender with yourself. Exactly. To forgive, understand, and adore the complex wonder that you are. When you kindle loving compassion inwardly, you also radiate it outwardly, and life begins to respond to that choice. The cells of your body and the cells of your body and the very cells of the air are compelled by that energy, creating a love vortex. And love, it's a lot like acid, dissolving everything that is unlike itself. What else is acid? So yeah, guys, put love into yourself. Put love into yourself. It's self-work. Self-work due to self-worth. I'm becoming a poet by the end of this reading as well, just like Hafiz. So I hope you liked it, and I hope you guys had a great week and have a great week. So see you in the next video, and bye.